What's up, y'all? Welcome back. 88 Fitness Live. Thanks for tuning in. 12 Eastern Time every Sunday. Here we roll again. All right, today we're talking about lifting accessories, what you need to boost your game.
Yes.
But first, we're right in the middle of the series, proper lifting form. It was a request from Keenan, one of our favorite watchers out there. Thanks for the request, Keenan. Check it out. It's Camille's series. The first one dropped Friday, and they're going to be dropping all week this week and probably next week.
Yeah, there's 5 of them in total. I go through the most popular exercises that you see at the gym and what equipment you need, how to set it up, what the proper form, and then I go through all sorts of different tips on the technique and the things that you need to know. So if you're a beginner lifter, definitely check out that series.
Yep. It's a good one because it is the most popular exercise, and we're showing you how to do them correctly.
Absolutely. And so speaking of that, we're really excited for today's topic. We're definitely going to take you through all sorts of different fitness accessories to help you get to that next level in the gym. We'll talk about do's and don'ts and why they're important, not only for performance, but for safety as well.
Absolutely.
So hopefully you enjoy this topic.
Yes, and there's a lot of crap out there. So if you're thinking about buying something and you're not sure if it's worth it or not, shoot us a line. I'll tell you, save your money or yes, buy it.
Absolutely. And if you find this video helpful today, definitely hit that super thanks. We appreciate you guys. And don't forget, you can ask us any questions as we go through the content today. All right. So where do you want to start? You want to start weight belts?
Belts it is.
So weight belts, I think, are pretty crucial in the gym, especially once you start lifting a lot of weight, right?
So yeah, weight belts are, I'm going to say, necessary.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely need to spend your money. You're not going to waste it on a weight belt.
Yeah, I think from a core stability and then depending on the type of lift you're doing, the ability to generate that like intra-abdominal pressure during really heavy lifts, especially squats and deadlifts, really helps you to execute the lift and protect the spine as well as perform it with the proper form.
Keeps your spine compressed. Which
Right.
is what you want. You know, the compression can hold you together.
Right.
And when you're lifting 500-600 pounds, believe me, that's what you want.
Absolutely. The thing that I will caveat about weight belts, though, sometimes I see people use them almost as a crutch. It's like they're starting their workout. It could be like arms or anything, and they have a weight belt on. You know, if you got an injury, fine, fair enough. Yeah, we want to keep a nice neutral spine. It's a good reminder.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that can also lead to some core instability if you're using it all the time for every single type of exercise.
So Camille hasn't been in the game as long as I have. Back in the 90s, there was an article written about wearing your belt and why you should wear it all the time to shrink your waist. However, it's been debunked. But people still think if I wear it all the time, it's going to shrink my waist. It's debunked. It's a myth.
Right.
But that's if you see somebody doing shoulders or, you know, leg extensions with a belt on, they might be trying to shrink their waist. Don't argue with them. Just realize that's a myth.
Absolutely. And I know for all the females out there, like working out with their waist trainers on, it's a very similar thing. They're trying to shrink the waist. And a lot of the brands of waist trainers will or advocate for that added benefit of the core stability for the heavy lifts, almost selling it as like a dual purpose tool there. So just keep that in mind.
But you hit it right on the head with the heavy lift.
Yes.
If you wear it all the time, you're going to have a weak core. It's going to cause muscle imbalances.
Right.
So only wear it on your heavy lifts, yo.
Absolutely. So is there a brand of belt you like? Yes, there is.
Boom, right here.
All right.
The Rit Fit belts, Velcro strap. I like the Velcro.
It's going to be loud.
I can tighten the Velcro up. The leather ones, you see the big fat leather ones, I can't get them snug around my waist for whatever reason. This one's pliable enough. It bends enough that I can get it tight enough around my waist. But the Velcro does wear out. Yeah. Just realize this is only going to last you 2, maybe 3 years before you have to buy another one because your Velcro is going to wear out.
Well, and hopefully you're not wearing it every day, so it lasts you a little longer. I have that one too. They make it in every size from extra small up to extra large. I will say though,
we got the same belt, y'all. That should tell you something right there.
yeah, it's a pretty good one. I have one caveat though. So I am very short torso. Like I'm 5'4", and for whatever reason, the distance from like the top of my hips to the bottom of my ribs is not that big.
Short torso.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, like this one, when I wrap it around, it's actually getting some of my hip and some of my ribs in there. So it's not that comfortable. So I will use it like as I'm, deadlifting, maybe doing RDLs and things just to remind me to use good posture. But when it comes for me doing heavy deadlifts, I prefer the like traditional heavy leather belt.
Yeah.
It's a little thinner.
And you can see why. These are pretty fat.
Yeah.
Pretty thick. So if you are a short torso, you're probably going to have a problem with these. You'd probably go with the old leather style that I can't get tight.
But I will tell you, like 90% of my clients, I usually refer this to them and they love it. It's lightweight, it's versatile, it's quick, and it's easy.
I don't have a problem with my torso on this at all. So I'm not short torso. So if you're short torso, you might need a skinnier belt. If you're regular torso or even long torso, this one is perfect for you.
But yeah, anytime like squats, deadlifts, even like overhead presses, those are probably the top 3 lifts where I would recommend belting up for that extra stability as well as safety. We don't want to blow out any lower backs.
Yes, 100%. Those 3 lifts, if you're going heavy, I would absolutely put a belt on.
Yeah, in fact, usually when I first start working with my clients, it's the ¡1 accessory. I'm like, okay, we need to get a belt. Because if we're not getting a belt, we're probably not lifting heavy enough. Yes. All right. The next thing clients ask me, especially my female clients, is about gloves, y'all. So there's like different schools of thought or different camps. You've got all the power lifters out there that are like, no, man, like let's build up those calluses and rip them off and build them up. I'm the other side. Like I do not want rough hands, right? I want them nice and smooth as I can. I still have calluses though. But for me, gloves really help to try to eliminate that. And it doesn't hurt as bad when you're lifting.
Sure. And we must come from 2 different circles because I've never heard anybody say, let's build these calluses up. Ever. Listen, y'all, if you don't want rough hands, wear gloves. If you don't wear gloves, you're going to callus up. Bottom line.
Yeah, so there's a couple different kinds I like. Me and my sister-in-law really like these like minimal training gloves. I'll just put one of them on for you. They basically are only covering that area where you would get the callus. So that makes them really good. So see how they just cover just the palms, like right where it would hurt, but you still have, exposed skin here for grip on the barbell.
Let me see your hand.
Oh, he's looking at my hand.
You can see I'm calloused up, right? You can see the calluses. You see Camille's hand?
They're pretty smooth.
No calluses. So like I said earlier, if you don't glove up, you're going to have rough hands. Yeah. I don't care about rough hands. I've had rough hands. I'm going to have rough hands.
Right.
Do I want my wife to have rough hands? Probably not. Probably not. So thank you for wearing the glove.
I will say, though, like once you do start wearing gloves and you start progressively overloading, it's really hard to go back to lifting without gloves because it hurts, especially anytime it's like a pull day and you're pulling really heavy weights like lat pull downs or deadlifts. It's almost impossible at that point to revert back. So just consider that.
Yeah.
The other thing, I have another brand of gloves I like. They're by G Love.
Her gloves.
Yeah, these are definitely these. Like I use these all the time. They're like a neoprene glove, and they have like a grippy part that's overlaid on there. But one of the things I've noticed recently, like when I'm doing really heavy dumbbell chest press, like 60 pounds, the bar starts crushing the palm of my hand. Oh. I think I was in a rush and I ran out there with no gloves and I was trying to push the weight and I ended up having to chalk up that workout and go in and get the gloves because it was literally just crushing the bones in my hand. The weight felt that heavy.
I think everybody goes through this as part of growing pains. Yeah. I've gone through it on the barbell bench press, but I never got gloves to fix it. I just got over it.
Yeah, so definitely think about it. If you want to use gloves, great. There's so many different kinds. If you want the minimalist kinds, we'll have a link for you for that. Yeah. And it's not one size fits all. So you might have to try some different kinds to figure out what works for you.
Yep, different brands, different cuts, different kinds. Just keep it simple and remember, if you don't want rough hands, wear gloves.
Absolutely. The only thing I don't like with gloves is like if you have full hand gloves or if they don't fit properly. And then you'll notice that
you're gonna get calluses,
that you will either get like irritation in the webbing between your fingers because it's pulling on the glove, or it starts slipping while you're trying to lift whatever the weight is. Right. So just a couple things to keep in mind.
Good call. She said it. I don't know if y'all heard it, picked up on it. Open fingers. You don't want full gloves.
Right.
You want your fingertips exposed so you can grip. I don't know. She said it real quick. I don't know if y'all picked it up, but you don't want full gloves.
Right.
People come in. I've seen people in work gloves, landscaping gloves,
batting gloves.
Batting gloves. You don't.
Football gloves.
You want your fingers exposed.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So probably the second most important lifting accessory, I would say, is lifting straps, y'all.
100%.
I think James advocates for this in pretty much any pulling video he's filming.
Yep. You better believe it now. Straps are here. They look like this. There's a bunch of different kinds. These are actually mine. The ones that I like and the ones that I use are right here. But maybe I can get them right here. Boom. There we go. Okay. So I use the Reapers here, the Gym Reapers.
The Gym Reapers.
These are old school style. I mean, this is
yeah, take them apart for them.
The original style here. Boom. They come out like so. And then you just put it and feed it through here.
Yeah.
Like so. And then cinch it tight, and then it goes on your hand like this, and then you wrap it around the bar. And why do we do that?
Because we want to take some of the load out of the grip and use the rest of our body back, whatever it is to pull. We don't want to fail at the fingers.
You got it. So once you wrap the bar, all you have to do is put pressure on this wrap. Now the wrap is lifting the bar, not your fingers. I've said this a million times. Think about how big the muscles are in your fingers. They're not very big, especially compared to your back muscles.
Right.
So if you're not using straps, you are 100% cheating yourself on your big, heavy deadlifts. On top of that, on back day, when you're doing pull exercise after pull exercise after pull exercise, your grip is going to fatigue. You're nowhere near as strong at the end of the workout as you are in the beginning of the workout, and you're failing at your forearm and your grip, not your back where you want to fail.
Absolutely.
So 100% needed, 100% should be used back day and heavy lifts.
Absolutely. And hit us with your questions, y'all. Like, we are here for you. Any topic, anything, we'll answer it while we're here live. I want to talk a little bit more about these straps. A lot of times when our clients start, typing into Amazon, what kind of strap should I buy? There's everything under the sun, all the way from like $14 up to like $100. And it becomes like overwhelming.
Yeah,
please don't. Please don't. But
save your money on that one.
It becomes really overwhelming. And you think like the more to it, probably the better, but that's not true. Like simple is better. So one of the things that I see is sometimes the part that's neoprene here has like a Velcro clasp and a big metal
we have those.
loop. We actually have them.
Yeah.
The problem with those is that as you tighten down that part around your wrist, that big metal clasp starts digging into your wrist bones here. And so if you're pulling really heavy weight, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt bad.
So yes, it's a Velcro that goes around your wrist and then a strap. But like she said, that metal clip, I've actually broken my skin and started bleeding from that metal clip. Excuse me. Terrence, what's up, buddy?
Hey,
thanks for watching, my man. But yes, that metal clip actually broke my skin and I was bleeding down my hand and it was a nasty mess and everything else. So those are good for light lifts or back day when you're doing pull downs, but for the heavy deads, they're not going to work.
And that's what I mean. So a lot of times we're like, oh, it's simple. It's got Velcro. It'll be easier for me to put on. Like, just stick with the basic strap. The other thing, I have a pair that I originally bought like years ago. I mean, you can see these. They're kind of crusty now. But see how they have this, I don't even know what kind of material. It's grippy. It's like a grippy leather, plasticky thing. And I was like, great. Like these will never slip with the bar. Problem is I can't cinch them down tight on the bar because they're too grippy.
Yep.
So again, even these simple ones, you start getting added stuff on there, it makes it even more hard for you to use.
Yes. Listen, y'all, I've used these because I forgot my straps before and had to use Camille straps.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
No, these are like my emergency straps.
This looks real nice and fancy, right? But man, those leather freaking letters ruin it when you're trying to wrap it around the bar. It's snagging everything, it's gripping everything, and it makes it super hard to cinch down and get tight on the bar. Whereas this one has no leather, it'll slip and it'll slide until it's tight on the bar and you can cinch it down in 3 seconds. That one you got to wrestle with and wrestle with.
I just noticed when you were holding up, it actually says grip.
Yep.
But it was funny because I remember I was trying to learn how to use wrist straps and James would be like, what's wrong with you? It's not that hard. And I was like, I can't cinch it down.
You take it too long.
Yeah, this is why. So these are great. There's another type of wrist strap that I really like, and they're called figure eights. They look like this. So big figure eights here. These two are by Jim Reaper. They're kind of a specialty strap though, because they are for barbell only. So if you were doing some type of like handled lat pull down, you couldn't do it. You need a bar for these. But the idea is that you man, we need to work on our camera angling. You put your hand through, you wrap this around the other side of the bar, and then you reach your hand over and you're using your full hand. There's no strap, but it aids you so you're not using all grip. So James is not a fan. I really like these for heavy, heavy deadlifts, y'all. They're really great.
Same name brand, y'all.
Yeah, same
Jim
name.
Reaper.
Jim Reaper. And they're not that expensive. You know, they're about $24, so double the cost of the other ones. But if you were looking just to invest in lifting straps in general, definitely go with the traditional strapped lifting gloves. They're only about $14, $15.
And I'm not a fan of those, but to be honest, I didn't give them enough time to learn them. I tried to use them 2 or 3 times, said screw that, and went back to my old ones because I couldn't get them to grip right for whatever reason. We got a comment. Terrence said that's why it's good to develop good grip strength for deadlifts. 100% correct, Big T. You should definitely develop your grip strength. However, you still are going to be limited by these tiny muscles in your fingers here compared to the big muscles in your back. You definitely need to work on your grip strength, 100%, Big T. But you are going to cheat yourself if you go without straps.
He brings up a good point, though. So what I always tell my clients is like, you know, as you're warming up with the weight and approaching what you think is going to be like your max for the day, whatever that is, like you should really just do this like unweighted, at least for a while until I'm sorry, unstrapped. Like I will do only my last working set strapped. I'll try my best to use my hands, and there's different schools of thought because I mean obviously that could wear out my forearms and impact my overall lift, but I like to try to actively improve my forearm strength and my grip strength by doing the deadlift or lat pull down unstrapped until the final set.
100%. It's just like the belt. You should only wear it when you need it.
Right.
If you don't need it, then absolutely don't use it. Develop your grip strength, just like Big T said. Develop that grip strength, and you're going to start going heavier and heavier without needing them. But eventually, you're going to need them.
Right. Absolutely. All right. And the last thing is knee wraps.
Hey.
So these probably aren't essential, but it depends on the person. So I have some former knee injuries, and I absolutely need some support for my knees and added stability, especially when I'm doing any type of squat, deadlift, or even leg press. So there's different kinds. We have an entire basket in our laundry room that has like every type of knee sleeve from light compression to neoprene, like heavy compression.
We do.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I just like these basic stretchy straps.
They're old school powerlifting knee wraps is what they are.
Yep.
You got a name brand? I don't even know if we got a name brand.
Starts with an H. There you go.
Harbinger.
I mean, it doesn't get more basic than that. These are about $22. You know, there's a lot of different brands and things that you can get for these. One caution for you, though, I see some that have Velcro at the ends of them, supposed to make it a little easier for wrapping your knees and then securing it. In my experience, the Velcro never lines up. And I've seen that if you don't replace them over time, your Velcro pops while you're in the middle of your deadlift or your squat.
You don't want that.
And you don't want that. So just the basic straps here, you just tuck them in on themselves and they're great.
I rarely ever use knee wraps, y'all, but when I do, those are the ones I'm using.
Yeah, so with these, they're not only providing that compression, there's almost like a recoil kind of springy aspect to them as well. So they do help you get back out of the hole. And I've definitely tried like lifting my max weight with and without. I'm a lot more comfortable. I have more confidence knowing that my knees are stable and they're not gonna like give out on me.
Provides that compression. Once again, it provides the compression. It feels like it's holding everything together, just like the belt does to your spine.
Right. And so I will definitely do all of my sets until the very last one or two, and then I start wrapping the knees. And this takes time. This takes time. So again, like I would only use it for your really heavy sets where you know you're going to end up with knee pain or have some discomfort.
That is the big knock on those. It takes a minute
It's
to
frustrating.
wrap your knee. It does. It takes a minute to wrap your knees up.
And then once you're wrapped, you don't really want to go off and do anything else because you're cutting circulation off to your legs.
You're doing your lift, right?
Yeah, you're doing your lift for sure.
All right, we got another question from
Michael. Hey, Michael.
Do leather belts provide more support for squats and deadlifts? This is a fantastic question. I said earlier I can't get a leather belt to fit. I haven't tried the leather kind.
Well, it's leather. You said right?
The leather's on the leather belt, and what you do is you cinch it down as tight as you can, and then you take that lever, and pop it even tighter.
Right.
So, Michael, I might use a leather belt if it had a lever on it. Jeez,
leather and lever. It's like
I can talk here this morning. However, I've never tried one with the lever. So I would probably be able to cinch it down and do a leather belt with a lever. But I haven't tried it. But that is the idea behind that lever, is it gets you tight enough with the leather belt.
I'm dying right now, y'all.
As opposed to the cloth belt, which you can cinch down without the lever.
Stop saying leather.
Ooh, here we go.
Oh, great question.
Great question. I should have experience with that, but I do not. Do you?
I don't. No, I've had a lot of clients I've seen over the years like those. It's pretty convenient, and they can, get it tight.
Yep. And I've seen it, and I've seen it work, and I see how it works. I just haven't tried it. Great question, Michael. Great question. But sorry, we don't have an answer because neither of us have tried it. But in theory, that should work. Yes, it should provide more support because it's tighter.
Right.
And like I said before, it's the compression on your spine, and that's what you want.
Definitely. So yeah, I mean, with all of these accessories, just some, proper fit's important. So I want to give you some tips on that. Like you want to make sure whatever accessory you're using fits snugly against you and but not uncomfortable. Like James says, like there's no point to having wrist straps and it's going to break the skin because it's got some metal clasp. Nope. Like just get a different brand that can fit you comfortably.
And believe me, when you're in a store looking at this Velcro strap with a metal clip, you're not thinking, man, that's going to break my skin if I go heavy on it. But believe me,
it does.
The first time you go heavy, you go, oh man.
Right. Same thing, like there's lifting straps that are just like a metal hook, like a big J hook that comes off of the wrist part. Again, you're at the time, you're like, this sounds great, but you try deadlifting 405 or something, it's not rated for that. You're going to bend that metal hook out and fail on the lift. So
I've bent the hook, y'all.
Did you try to bend the hook?
No.
I feel like you would try to bend the hook.
I didn't try to bend the hook, but I bent the hook doing deadlifts.
Yeah. So, I mean, every type of accessory, there's definitely pros and cons to that accessory. So you really have to consider like what is the intended purpose for you using it and what was that accessory designed to do.
Yeah. And you hit it on the head. It's got to fit right. And that's a big reason I picked this belt.
Right.
Is because I feel like it fits right. As opposed to a leather one, I can't get down tight enough so it doesn't compress the spine. It's just like an inner tube around my waist. But I never tried one with the lever, Michael.
Absolutely. And then, you really want to be gradual with, start with lighter weight with whatever the accessory is until you learn, especially with like the wrist straps. this takes time, y'all. Like you would almost want to go on like a non-lifting day and just familiarize yourself with cinching this up. And if you're lifting with a partner, definitely don't try for the first time to lift your straps. You're going to enrage them.
So yes, it takes a minute to get the straps down, but once you use them for, a while, year or two, it's
exactly.
It's literally like that. But when you're first starting out with them, it takes a minute to get them down, get them cinched down, get used to where to put them, get used to wrapping them, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. Big T's got a question. He wants to know our thoughts on using the old school bicep blaster that Arnold would use on those old days.
So there's definitely some benefits.
Yeah.
The bicep blaster is going to put your bicep at a stretch position. Number one. Muscle stretched under load has most potential for growth, so that will definitely do that. It's also going to make you work out very strict,
right?
So there's no momentum, there's no cheating with that bad boy either. I don't know if you use barbell or dumbbell, but if you're using a barbell, it's also locking you in a supinated position, so it's both functions of the bicep. So that's a fantastic machine.
I mean, I like it. I think it's a good idea. If you don't have a bicep blaster, it's kind of similar to maybe doing preacher curls.
Or leaning against the wall.
Or leaning against the wall, so you can't cheat, for sure.
You just pin your elbows back against the wall. The bicep blaster moves you forward a little bit, so you're stretched a little bit more than you would be leaning against the wall. So, yeah, I would definitely try.
Great question, Terrence.
Good question, and then I think it'd be worth, I know it can't be that expensive, but if it's, less than $20, I think it'd be worth the buy.
Absolutely. And then some other tips, personal preference plays into it. Like, yes, we're talking about gym accessories, but like, if you don't need them, you don't need them. Some people prefer,
don't waste your money, man.
Some people prefer more of a minimal approach, but over time, if you start to notice that, maybe you're limiting how much you can do in your lat pull down, or your deadlift's not quite right, or you're failing on squat, but it's because your knees are hurting, not because your quads were screaming. That's when you need to start thinking, okay, it might be time for some of these fitness aids or lifting aids.
Listen, the ones we went over today, you 100% absolutely need. The only one we went over today you don't need is gloves. And I'm going to say it again. If you don't want rough hands, you need the gloves.
Nope.
I have rough hands. I deal with the calluses. It doesn't bother me. But like I said earlier, I don't necessarily want my wife to have rough hands. When I'm holding her hand, I don't really want to feel calluses, y'all. But the straps, 100% needed. You're cheating yourself. I'm going to say it again. You're cheating yourself if you don't use straps. You can't, no way under this moon, even think the muscles in your fingers can hang with the muscles in your back. If you do think that, you need some, go back to school and get some biology or something. 100% need the belt. Not all the time, but when you go heavy, super heavy, I would definitely say it's needed. And the same thing with the knee wraps. You don't need them all the time, but when you go super heavy, I would say they're needed.
Absolutely. And safety is always paramount, y'all. Like, just because you have these lifting aids does not take away the need for proper form, proper technique in all of these lifts. So if you're unsure on any of those lifts, definitely check out our video series that's playing the next couple of weeks. It'll take you through that for sure.
So we're pushing the limits here, y'all. I mean, we're all progressively overloading. We're pushing the limits. We're trying to do weights we can't do normally. This is when you gear up. This is the safety factor. I'm going to try a weight that I know I haven't gotten before. I'm going to wear the belt. I'm going to wear the wraps. I'm going to wear the straps. And if there's a helmet I need, I'm going to put that on too. It's just an example because we're pushing the limits. And when you do push the limits, it's a fine line. So you want to wear as much safety gear as you can because you are pushing the limits. And it's a fine line between safe and heavy lifting.
Yes, T. Don't be that guy wearing the belt the whole time. You might not have been on, but we definitely said that.
We went over this earlier. It's a myth from the 90s. It came out in a bunch of bodybuilding magazines. Wear your belt all the time to shrink your waist. But it's been debunked, and that's a myth.
Absolutely. And y'all, if you have all these accessories, you're going to need a gym bag. I'm just saying, it can be quite frustrating. In fact, James,
we should have brought that up.
Yeah, James and I actually have like duplicates. He actually has 2 weight belts. He's got one that stays here at home at our studio, one in his gym bag. I take these like straps I don't like in my gym bag, and my good ones are here at home.
That's the opposite. The ones I like are in my gym bag. The ones I don't like are here at home.
So yeah, we've got accessories everywhere in case we need them.
Yes, but the gym bag comes home. So if I am lifting heavy, I'm going to go to my bag and get my real straps, as opposed to the straps that are in the gym out there.
Right. Absolutely. Any other thoughts on that?
No, I mean these are needed. So if you think about buying something that's not on here today, we didn't go over it. For example, like the shake weight or something, save your money. Save your money.
In fact, I'd be curious if there's other lifting aids and things that you guys like. We'd be curious to see what those are. So definitely drop us a line.
Absolutely. Leave a comment. Tell us what you like and why you like it.
Absolutely.
And if you think it's needed, absolutely explain to me why it's needed. If it's not one of these 3, tell me why we need it.
Absolutely. But yeah, try them all out. And I think, you got to find what works best for you and your lifting style.
I agree.
There's not one size fit all.
Yeah, and Big T was right earlier. Right. Even though you're using straps, you still need to work on that grip strength.
Absolutely.
Even though you're using a belt, you still need to work on your core strength. I mean, let's not be silly now. These are for heavy, extreme lifts. They're not for all the time.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We really appreciate your time and watching this video today. And definitely for any of the things that we said were our favorite, we have a link for you guys if you want to click on that. But just remember, there's no substitute for good old hard training, y'all. Like, that's what this channel is about. It's going to the max, pushing your limits, and then giving a little more.
You got it.
So
do it safely and wear your safety gear. One more question. Big T's got a request, not a question. Can I get a resistance band workout? Gonna be on vacation next week. 100% Big T. We got a resistance band playlist, baby.
We do, y'all.
Check it out. We go over every single body part, even a leg workout with the resistance bands. Big T's got huge legs. I don't know if he needs to do a leg workout on vacation, but if you want to, T, it's on there.
That's right. This is the Resistance King.
Resistance band king. We got a bicep, tricep, shoulders, back, chest. They're all resistance band workouts. They're all in that playlist.
Yep, absolutely. We'll send that to you.
Check her out.
All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you tune in every Sunday at 12 Eastern. We'll be here to answer any questions that you might have. Until next time, we appreciate y'all. See you later. Bye.